your apologetic is a fucking argument.
All right, let him.
Right. This is a disjunctive, dummy. That's another form of argument. Did you know that? What that is? Do you know what that is?
You said it's valid.
It's right here. Z is the necessary condition of A. A, therefore Z. This is a valid form, dummy. You didn't even know that. I'm an Orthodox Christian, so I defend the Orthodox Christian position, and we believe that the only possible explanation for reality is the triune God. And that's because when we look at what we call a worldview in philosophy, that would be the disciplines of knowledge, or epistemology, ethics, and metaphysics. These are the three branches of philosophy. We really only see one type of being that can ground and give a coherent explanation, justification, and explanatory power to how it's possible for there to be knowledge, ethics, and claims about reality. So I'm making an argument at a paradigm level. It's called a transcendental argument. It's an argument about preconditions of experience. It's not an argument about experience itself, but rather the preconditions or what's necessary for the possibility of experience, knowledge, or ethics. So two different levels of argumentation. I can show you the logical form of that argument, show that it's a perfectly valid form of argumentation. So the argument is just simply that when we look at the world, and when we make knowledge claims, when we make claims about ethics or metaphysics, there's all kinds of presuppositions or preconditions that are necessary and have to be the case for those knowledge claims to be possible. So I'm not talking about any specific knowledge claim in this case. I'm talking about a higher level, a meta level claim about the possibility of knowledge claims. So these preconditions are things like universals, abstract concepts, the status of objects, the identity of objects over time, the principle of induction, the external world having a reality to it that's not just simply mental, that there is a self that underlies all of our perceptions. All of these things are not reducible to matter. They're not, in other words, it would lead to an absurdity reductio to reduce all of these preconditions to matter. And so therefore they do have some ontological existence, some real existence. And so the only possible way to explain how all of those interlock or cohere, numbers, laws of logic, the things I listed, is if there is a God who grounds them and is the justification for those things. So basically I'm saying that there are transcendental categories or preconditions, and the argument for God's existence is that he is the only possible justification or ground for those things. So that is the transcendental argument.
Mr. Jump, would you like to respond to that, or?
Yeah, sure. So just to clarify, so you're saying that all of the experts in all of those fields who wrote the books on literally all of those topics that you mentioned, they're all wrong. All of their worldviews, majority of which are atheist, non-religious people, they have some logical contradiction in their worldview.
That's completely irrelevant to a formal argument. You're appealing to authority.
It's just a question. So no, it's not actually what I'm doing at all.
Well, there are plenty of authority.
Stop, Jay. Let me finish the question.
There are plenty of authorities who share my view.
No, actually, there aren't. The consensus view is against everything you just said. No, so there might be a few.
Well, you're going to arbitrarily limit which disciplines you
accept. No, I'm going to take the majority.
I could give you a host of continental philosophers, analytical philosophers.
Jay, stop interrupting. So the consensus of experts, the vast majority.
There is no.
There is.
Why there isn't.
Yeah, there is.
It's total bullshit. You start the argument with bullshit.
Stop. There is a paper that literally asked for the consensus on these topics. The field surveys paper where they did actually do this. Yes, that's a consensus.
That means nothing in a formal debate.
You said
started your apologetic is a fallacy.
Why are you still interrupting? Stop. You said
because you're not even making arguments.
All right, let him. Hold on, Jay.
You said
your apologetic is a fallacy.
Why are you still interrupting? Stop. You said
because you're not even making arguments.
All right, let him. Hold on, Jay. Jay, let him get in there. Let him get in there. I'll definitely give you all your time. Go ahead, Mr.
So Jay said there was no consensus. I just proved him wrong on that. There's literally
a paper is not consensus.
Jay has his head up his ass. So a consensus is what the vast majority of the experts in the field agree on, and there is a paper that polls the vast majority of experts, and so they do agree on this. So there is a consensus. That is literally what consensus means. And all of the majority of people who wrote the books on every one of these topics he mentioned.
It wouldn't even matter if that's true. It's a fallacy.
Why are you still
It wouldn't matter if it's true. It's a
No,
fallacy.
it's not
You
a
can't make
fallacy.
fallacies.
That's not a fallacy, Jay. What fallacy
It is
that,
a
Jay?
fallacy. It's called appeal to consensus, appeal to authority.
Hey,
That's a fallacy.
moron. Phil's survey's paper, just go to the Stanford Encyclopedia.
Is appeal to consensus
No,
and
Jay,
appeal to
you
authority a
have to
fallacy?
shut up and let me correct
Is it a fallacy?
Jay, no, it
Is
is
it
not
a
a fallacy.
fallacy?
No, it is not a fallacy.
Yes,
Let
it
me prove
is.
it to you.
It's a basic fallacy.
Jay,
Appeal to
Jay,
consensus,
Jay,
appeal
shut
to
up and let me
expert is
correct
a fallacy.
Jay,
Is the claim that you just made a universal propositional truth claim?
Yes,
Okay, so how do you have
Describe
access to
reality.
universal truth claims?
because they describe reality.
So you have access to all universal reality.
No, why would I need to?
Then they don't describe all reality. They don't describe universal
No, that's
states of
not
affairs.
how it works. So I can describe all of reality, even if I don't know all of reality. Like I can say all
No, you
reality
can't.
is reality.
Not if you're an atheist, you can't.
All reality is
If
reality.
I have
get
access to the divine mind, I
Wait,
can.
wait,
I have a
so-
justification for it.
wait,
You
so-
have your mind,
that. Wait.
which
So-
is just chaos.
so let me do it. Let me do it right now. Let me do it right now. All reality is reality.
Argument.
Jay, I
Here's
already-
the formal argument.
just
After,
give it-
now that you've contradicted, here's the formal argument.
Go for it.
Here's the formal argument. When I say X is Y or all X are Y, that's a distributed property, an attributive property. These are basic logic claims, right? Basic propositional claims.
You've lost me. Is this the first premise?
These are, it's not, I'm giving you a transcendental argument. When I say Z is the necessary condition.
It doesn't
of
have to
A,
have an argument.
A,
It's just
therefore
X
Z.
is what. Yeah, it's an algebraic equation, basically. But yeah, go
So
ahead.
It's not an equation.
Well,
It's
I
just a
mean,
simple-
it can be anything, and X could be anything.
I'm
Why-
illustrating
yeah,
what a
right.
transcendental argument is. You want to
Yes.
appeal to Malthus. Even Malthus
Yes.
admit you want to appeal to authorities. Malthus admits that this is a valid argument.
No, because there's no premise.
Yes, he does.
one.
He
What
says
is-
transcendental arguments are valid. I'm not talking about the transcendental argument for God. I'm just showing you because you don't even know what a transcendental argument is.
No.
You
I
don't
do know what
the
a
form.
transcendental is.
It's
What
a
is your
valid
argument?
form. You don't even know that.
I want to know. You said it's valid form. To have a valid
Correct.
form, what does valid mean? What does valid mean?
Z is the necessary condition
what does
of
valid
A.
mean?
A,
Hey, what is
therefore
valid?
Z. Means it's sound. It means it's a sound argument.
What? I'm sorry. What? Go back. What does valid
It means
mean?
that
Jay?
the conclusion follows from the premise. That's a valid argument.
Yes, that is a valid argument.
Yeah,
so
I'm
what
not
is?
putting it in a syllogism right now. I'm putting it in a disjunctive.
Okay.
Right?
okay.
This is
So-
a disjunctive, dummy. That's another form of argument. Did you know that?
You said it's valid. So I want to know what the premises are.
It's a disjunctive argument. Do you know what that is? Do you
said
know
it's
what that
valid.
is?
You said it's valid.
It's right here. Z is the necessary condition of A. A, therefore Z. This
You
is
said
a
it's
valid
valid.
form, dummy. You didn't even know that.
By the way,
What-
chat
what
was
is-
laughing at my algebraic equation. I mean, it is an equation. It's a logical equation, but whatever. Go ahead. Mr.
This is a disjunctive. It's in logic. It exists. Go look it up,
What
Mr.
is
Philosopher.
premise
Google real
one?
quick. Better
What
Google
is-
real quick.
What is premise one?
I'm not putting it in a premise. I'm putting it in a
Jay,
disjunctive.
what does valid mean? Jay, what does valid mean?
You don't think disjunctive arguments are valid?
Jay, what does valid mean?
Do you think
Valid-
that it's a disjunctive argument right here?
Remember, valid means the.
If you're not, this is a
conclusion-
valid
Jay,
argument. You just
Jay,
showed you don't
can I
know
get my
basic
2 minutes?
logic
Can I
because
get
this
my
is
2 minutes
valid.
in?
This is
You know,
valid.
like-
Dummy.
All right.
Malthus would say this is valid.
Jay, no, he wouldn't. So
This
Jay,
guy can't argue. He doesn't know
I get my
basic
2 minutes?
argumentation. He
Can I
doesn't
get my
know
2
that
minutes?
that's a valid argument.
can I get my 2 minutes? So
You know what?
a
2
valid-
minutes.
Are you going
Jay-
to address that it's a valid deductive
You know
argument?
what?
I mean,
Let-
disjunctive argument.
Jay, let me
Let's
do this.
find out,
Hold
Jay.
on, wait. Let's give him 2 minutes. I'm going to read the super chats. We'll take some callers. We have, believe it or not, 45 minutes scheduled left, possibly, in this
Oh,
debate.
God.
If
I'm
the
loving it.
premise is true, the conclusion is necessarily true.
All right.
Right. Yes. What is the first premise?
That's
Jay?
because that's called a disjunctive argument, though.
All right, you know
That's
what?
This.
Tom-
You just admitted that this is valid. Thank you.
If the premises are true, then the conclusion follows. So Jay, that means it has to have premises, right?
Right.
So what's the first premise?
Do you
Jay?
understand? I'm showing you the form.
Wait, Jay. What is the first
I'm
premise?
showing you the form
No, I
of
don't
the
care
argument
what the form
before
is.
I
I want
make
to know
the
what the first
argument.
premise is. I'm asking you what
Do
is
you
the first
understand
premise?
that the argument is different from the form?
Jay,
You don't
Jay,
even. You
I'm
can't.
not
This guy
interested in
can't
the
even
form.
grasp.
I just
the
want to know what the
form
first premise is.
of arguments are
Yeah,
different
I
from
don't
actual
care what the
arguments.
form is. I want to know
So
what the first premise is.
when I made the argument at the beginning,
I'm
it was
still-
this.
I'm still waiting for the first premise. Like I want to know what the first premise is. You said it's
Do you
valid.
remember the? Okay, I'll give it to you again. Do you remember the argument I made at the beginning?
No.
You don't remember it.
No, how can I possibly remember that gibberish?
All right,
No.
well, tell us again, Jay, and then I'll let him respond for 2 minutes. I'll read the super chats, and we'll take calls. Go ahead.
God is the necessary condition of all knowledge claims. We
What's
have
the-
knowledge
wait,
claims.
wait,
therefore
I'm writing
God.
this down. Wait, go slower. I'm trying to write this down. So what is the first premise?
The argument is simply put is that God is the necessary precondition or condition of all knowledge claims. I would extend it to say ethics, metaphysics, and epistemology.
Wait, that's the first premise.
Yes, Like how many times you don't know what a disjunctive argument is? This is really simple, dude.
So like the first premise is like Socrates is a man. That's a premise.
Yeah, this you just did when I asked you if there's if the premise and then there's a conclusion. This is the premise. This is the conclusion. It's called a disjunctive argument. Okay, it's a valid form of argument. This is just the form. The argument that I make. You're having to learn class because you don't know what you're talking about. You don't know basic logic. You came to this debate with nothing but pure arrogance.
Jay, I know philosophy. You don't. So
no, you don't. You didn't know what this was. You just asked me to explain this.
Now,
to
to be fair, he does have a degree. I mean, I don't know. Degrees don't mean everything, but
are you kidding me? No, he's dumb as shit.
Okay.
So what are the premises?
Dude, all you do is insult. All you've done is insult constantly because you don't know basic philosophical concepts and arguments.
Premises. Tell me the premises.
The premises. I've told you 5 times what the premises is. God is the necessary condition of knowledge. Knowledge, therefore God. It's a simple argument.
Oh God. Okay. Wow. Oh man, I need to ask you something here. It's really hilarious. So the first premise is God is the necessary precondition of knowledge.
Right.
Correct.
Yeah. Correct? For the 20th time, yes.
And the second is therefore God.
No, the second is knowledge. Therefore, he can't even follow the. Do you want to do your ABCs with this? God is the necessary precondition or condition of knowledge claims or propositions, right? Yes. We can insert into transcendental categories here.
Okay.
Knowledge claims or transcendental categories, therefore God.
Knowledge claims. The second premise
is can't even follow it. Dude, maybe you should go learn the transcendental argument before you come to debate because you're having to learn it here and act like a jerk.
What's the second premise again?
Oh my God.
It said knowledge claims or something?
No, I'm done with that because he doesn't get it. I made the argument.
Right.
Maybe you want to go back and hear
That's not a valid argument, Jay. What you presented was not a valid argument.
It is a valid argument. The form is valid.
We can get Alex Malpass.
The form is valid. You might not.
No, it's not, Jay.
You might not accept my version, but the form is valid. You didn't even know that. You didn't even know that the form is different from the instantiation.
I still want to know what the second premise is because I'm not clear on that one.
We have knowledge claims, therefore God.
We have knowledge claims. We have knowledge claims.
Z is the necessary condition of A, right? I'm putting God as the necessary precondition of knowledge claims. We have knowledge claims, A, therefore God.
Okay, we're getting there. That's better. Thank you. That is much better. So
that's the 20th time I explained it to you. You just don't understand it.
I can go back and just show you the words. You never said those words before. So,
you just lied. You just lied. I said it 5 times.
Yeah, God is the necessary.
We have knowledge, therefore God.
All right, now let me.
How many times did I say that?
Go ahead.
You said the first one.
This guy's totally dishonest. How can you debate if you're going to be totally dishonest?
So.
Like you're lying to yourself and to me, to my face. I said this 5 times.
Go back. So God is the necessary preconditions of knowledge claims or propositions. We have knowledge claims and propositions, therefore God. Yes. So are you claiming that you need God to have propositions or you need God for knowledge to exist? Like, for example,
a precondition. God is the precondition for preconditions is my argument.
Okay. Right. So my question is do you need God to have a coherent knowledge base or do you need God to have knowledge at all? So like, for example,
both.
Both.
I would argue both.
Both. Okay. So we can go with that one. Why do you think you need God to have knowledge? Like I think, therefore I am. I don't presuppose God. I have knowledge.
Because the denial of any of the preconditions for knowledge leads to the impossibility of knowledge.
I don't care about any of the preconditions because those are your made up preconditions.
That's my argument.
You don't need them. So I have knowledge.
My argument necessitates preconditions for knowledge, transcendental categories.
Okay. So how does God justify knowledge claims?
By the transcendental argument.
What? So if God needs to make an argument, doesn't he have to presuppose language to make the argument?
God doesn't need to make an argument. Literally, your IQ, like I can't even.
How does God justify knowledge?
There's no point in arguing the transcendental argument with you because I don't think you're physically and mentally capable of understanding the argument. So you're going to have to go to do other kinds of arguments because this is never. You're never going to get this.
I'll get my 2 minutes. So God is the necessary precondition of all knowledge.
You said, does God have to prove himself? Like it has nothing to do. Does God have to argue his own presupposition?
Jay,
that has nothing
to
do with my argument. I gave you formal arguments.
Jay,